This video I'm about to show you is taking TikTok and the country by storm, and it's one of the worst examples of Bible interpretation I've seen in a long time. Do not fall for stuff like this. It's simply not how we interpret the Bible, and this is not true. So let's watch it.
The mark of the beast. No man might buy or sell, save he have the mark, or the name, or the number of the beast. Mark, name, number. We're all about the mark. We forget about the name and the number. For it is the number of a man, and the number is 666. It's not 666. That's a translation. That's the number. How many can see it? Can you see it? The cross swords. Bismillah, which means in the name of Allah. And by the way, when you go to jihad, you wear this on your forehead. See where they're wearing it? On their foreheads. This is what he saw. He was Aramaic. The Bible's written in Aramaic, not English. So he looked and he goes, 666. No, that's what he saw. X, Aleph, S. Can you see it now? Bismillah. That's what he saw. The name of the beast. Bismillah. In the name of Allah. When I saw that symbol, I was like, dear God. If that doesn't shock you, I don't know what will. Oh my Lord.
First he says, we're all about the mark. Forget about the name and the number. Good Bible interpretation never says this part of the Bible doesn't matter. This part of the verse doesn't matter. Then he says, it's not 666, 666. That's a translation. He's wrong about that. The Greek clearly reads the number 666. There is one ancient manuscript that reads 616 and one manuscript, Papyrus 47, that has 3 Greek letters as an abbreviation, but we don't create an interpretation based on minority readings. Then he uses a particular font rendering to explain that it's clearly an Arabic letter. That explanation doesn't work using any other font. This is not how we form reliable interpretations. Then he says the Bible was written in Aramaic, not in English. Wrong again. The New Testament was written in Greek. Bismillah is not what John saw. Revelation 13, 17, and 18 never says that John saw the mark. Revelation 13 says John saw the beast coming out of the sea, and he saw what he looked like and what he did and said. Then he saw a second beast coming out of the land, and he saw what he looked like and what he did. The text says that the beasts forced people to get the mark, and it tells what the mark was, but it doesn't say he could see it. And we certainly don't go by the shape of this particular font to justify that. You see, solid interpretation attempts to avoid subjectivity as much as possible. Objectivity is the priority. It's bad interpretation to take a minuscule reading, insist it be on a particular font, turn it on its side, and claim now you see the real meaning. That is nonsense. In the book Wisdom for Faithful Reading, John Walton, my brother, writes that prophecy is more about revealing God's plans and purposes than revealing the future. The primary purpose of apocalyptic literature like Revelation is not to foretell the future, but to communicate God's plans and purposes, both in space and in time. So rather than being impressed by accurate predictions, readers should educate themselves in what God is revealing about his plans and purposes for bringing order to the cosmos and in history. The visions are not the message, but rather are the occasion for the message. So here in Revelation 13, the message is that the beast is a blasphemous parody of God. The message is that the beast is demanding allegiance and identity from the human population. The message of the mark of the beast is that those who receive the mark, which is the throngs who live on earth, are not in league with God, but instead with those who are in opposition against God. See, John Walton in that book also tells us that fulfillment is distinct from the message. Seeing fulfillment as the place where the authority of the text resides is a misunderstanding. It's the message that's the authoritative word from God. Fulfillment is the unfolding of God's plans and purposes, to which the message can be connected. See, fulfillment can take lots of different directions. It doesn't always happen in the way or in the time the readers might have considered essential and obvious. Sometimes fulfillment can be in many stages. It can only usually be identified in hindsight, looking back at it. So it's very important to recognize that the fulfillment is not something in the author's intention. So no amount of looking at the letter will uncover the fulfillment. Instead, when we're tracking with the author, we're trying to understand the message. The message is what has authority. So that's our goal. Identification of the fulfillment is not part of the New Testament author's intention. So when we track with the New Testament authors, the message is what we are seeking. In other words, please ignore this video from Tomi Arayomi. It is interpretive drivel. When we read and interpret the Bible, we cannot stoop to this nonsense.